Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to another episode of Friends of the Squared Circle. I'm your host, Crander Q, aka my real name. On today's episode of Friends of the Squared Circle, I have my buddy Joe and his son Harley. Now, Harley is my godson, not my son. He may look like me, but he's definitely not my son. First off, I'd love to give a huge shout out to the boys at 13 Cards, Subject to Change. Leroy, happy birthday. Jesse and Zach, for all your input on this podcast slash video series. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Also, huge shout out to Darren Corbin for agreeing to sponsor this podcast slash video series. You can find Darren Corbin at Facebook, TikTok. Yes, Darren Corbin is on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at Darren Corbin. He also has Patreon. You can follow that at patreon.com/Darren Corbin. And it starts out at $1, has monthly Q&As, behind the scenes, as well as upcoming merch and dates that he'll be wrestling. And finally, give a huge shout out to Superior Creations, who made me this beautiful mug. Got Undertaker on that side, as well as Stone Cold. Now, if you need a gift for your boyfriend, girlfriend, mom, or dad, check out Superior Creations on Facebook at facebook.com/Superior Creations MN. And I got to say, I love these tumblers. I got one for my girlfriend for her birthday, and she absolutely loves it, and she likes to collect them. So hopefully I can add to my collection as well as more wrestling tumblers come to life. Stone Cold and the dead man himself, Undertaker. All right, let's get this bad boy started. We've got our guests, Joe and Harley. How you doing, Joe?
Good. It's not God's son. It is Zeus' son, and you know
that's right.
that.
That's right. Harley, how you doing?
I've been doing good.
Good. Thanks, guys, for being on. And as always, being friends of the Squared Circle. Got to get that plug in so people know where to find me. All right, Harley. This is your first podcast, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Perfect. Joe, you're back for episode 2.
Howdy.
All right. So we're just going to jump into it. We're going to start with some random Q&A. All right, Harley. Do you prefer face paint wrestlers or do you prefer masked wrestlers? Masked wrestlers, wow.
Mask wrestlers.
Who are some of your favorites?
I like Sin Cara.
Oh, okay.
Who's his partner? I forgot who his partner was.
That was Kalisto.
Yeah, Kalisto. They
The
made a good
Lucha Brothers. I believe we have a video of you going Lucha, Lucha, Lucha. That's a fond memory. For me, with masked wrestlers, it has to be Mankind, Kane, the Hurricane. Who doesn't like the Hurricane? As well as, whoops, forgot my piece of paper here. Vader, Hall of Famer. Mankind.
You're just a Mankind.
Classic. Did I'm sorry. I just get excited for Mankind. I know, Joe, you have history with Mankind, so I like to bring that up. So anybody who didn't see episode 1, why don't you tell us your little story with Mankind there?
So we went and saw him do his comedy thing. When he was doing that, I don't know if he's still doing it or not. And after the show, he had a meet and greet signing thing. And at the beginning of the show, when I got there, they had a whole bunch of posters they were just letting people take. So I said, cool, I'll take some and see if I can get him to sign some. I totally intended on having him pay, have him pay for signature, get an 8x10, all that sort of stuff. And I was, I don't know, 80 people back in the line or something like that, whatever. And I get up there to have him sign this thing, and he goes, hey, where are you guys getting all these things? And I'm like, well, they were giving them out at the beginning of the show. These are just extra posters or whatever. I guess they were flawed or something. I don't know. And they said we could take them. He turns to his manager and goes, see, we're getting cut out on whatever this is or whatever. I said, okay. I said, well, I totally intended on, getting your signature and stuff. And he stonewalled me the rest of the time I was up there. So didn't make friends with him too much. Been to at least one other thing with him there, and didn't want to go through that again. So as much as I liked him when he was wrestling and his Chef Boyardee commercials, I cannot say that I want to meet that man again.
What is What does Stonewall mean? I've never heard that before in my life.
What's that?
What?
What does Stonewall mean?
Oh, it means you just kind of like.
Oh, okay.
And Harley, he'll actually be coming to the Minneapolis area in November, and I think Brian and I might be going to that one. So you might be welcome to tag along and get your family's name back in a sense. You brought up the Lucha brothers. That's another sweet thing that I used to love about WCW was the Rey Mysterios, the Psychosis, and La Parca. All those great Mexican wrestlers, and very underrated when they were in WCW. Obviously, the big men stole the show. You know, they were the big marquee names, but the real workers were those cruiserweights, and a lot of them happened to wear the masks. So
you're leaving out El Generico first off, and then also Mr. America, right? The greatest lucha wrestler of all time.
Oh boy, can't wait for the hate comments now.
I think my favorite big and strong dude is Braun Strowman.
Braun Strowman?
Yeah.
All right. You're entitled to your opinion. Now, when it comes to face paint wrestlers, I also like them too because my favorite wrestler of all time, as some people know, Goldust, a.k.a. Dustin Rhodes. And you've got the Boogeyman, who scared the living crap out of me when I met him. Now, Harley, did you get to meet Boogeyman, or was that a different show?
I think I saw. I don't think I met the Boogeyman, but I'm pretty sure I saw him.
Okay.
When he was wrestling and he ate those worms.
Okay. I know the lines for that show were pretty ridiculous there. Another great face painted wrestler that I loved, who I wish didn't pass away, was Umaga. And we'll get into something else about I like him in the next question here. So,
wasn't he one of the Rock's cousins?
Yeah, his brother was Rosie, who passed away as well, and then he is related to Roman and the Usos.
Right.
So I believe he's Uso's uncle. Yeah, it's Rikishi's brother, I think.
You're leaving out another great face paint wrestler, Warrior.
Yeah, I mean, I was naming my favorite, but no one really picked that, so
Warriors.
I guess I didn't ask Joe. Yeah. Oh, and the Road Warriors. I got to meet Animal and Paul Ellering. I almost wanted to yell at I did yell at your dad at a show because he kept telling everybody that Paul Ellering is there, and I'm trying to make my way over before people noticed him.
Yep, and that's when I told Paul Ellering that my son hated him because of a video game. And he looked at me like I was an idiot.
Yep. His daughter is super nice, too. I met her that show as well, and then she was in that car accident. And then when I met him again, when I met Road Warrior Animal, I thought he was like mad when I met him the first time, but he was very, very cool. Wanted to talk my ear off. There's a line a mile behind me, and I was like, "Oh, okay, gotta go." So,
this not meeting Animal and then Legion of Doom was one of my favorites when I was a kid. I loved the Legion of Doom. I just loved how I always gravitated towards the big strong guys. I always loved that stuff, and that's what they were. They were just two power guys, right? Just teamed up, which you didn't normally see outside of the the superpowers, which I don't know if you would call Macho Man a big strong guy. He was kind of like a stronger Shawn Michaels almost.
Yeah, Road Warriors are definitely. I mean, I can't think of a tag team that would be better than them in their heyday. Now there are teams that have like eclipsed some of their title records, but I feel like persona, body, character, they are just amazing. Especially Animal. Towards the later years, he, just so humble. The two times that I met him, he wanted to integrate and talk with fans. He didn't just want to, all right, photo, see you later. It was more like, hey, how was your day going? Tell me about you, so. And I am kind of jealous. I never put on the spikes that he had. I just felt like I was too big and didn't I don't know. I didn't want to be awkward around him.
You see the size of him when he wore those things, dude. Like
I know,
you're not too
but
big.
I just, I feel weird trying that stuff on, I guess. So
Right. I mean, I wouldn't put on Mankind's mask or anything, or
no,
have him Socko me or anything like that. That'd be weird.
I mean that,
I mean, the fresh
Mandible
Socko, maybe.
Claw,
It was a
Socko,
fresh
yep,
Socko.
yep.
Yeah. They wouldn't want. This is the Socko I stuck in Rock's mouth. I'm good.
I think COVID has kind of woke us up to germs there. So, all right.
One of the only good things of that is the fact that everything's more sanitary now.
Yeah, and people actually wash their hands. You still have the few people that don't, but wash your hands.
That's you, Kim.
So, I wash my hands all the time.
I don't believe you.
He's a germaphobe. He does.
Oh.
Well, not necessarily germaphobe. I'm just OCD. All right. So, next question, Harley. We're going to start with you. Favorite tag team?
Does like triple weight count as well?
Yep, we'll count that.
The New Day. The
Yep.
New Day has to be my favorite.
Who doesn't love the New Day? If you don't, you just don't enjoy entertaining wrestling.
Yeah, my favorite on the New Day has to be Big E.
Mm-hmm.
My second favorite is going to be the Luchadors.
Lucha Brothers?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other tag teams that you like there, buddy?
Not that I can really think of.
Okay. I mean, there's a great independent team that is now in AEW that you used to like. They go by Top Flight now. Darius and Dante, or El Dorado, or I can never remember how to say it correctly, and then Airwolf. So those boys over there definitely live up to their name. Top Flight. Dante is just on another level.
Yep.
Just getting air. So
they're unmasked now, but they're still very good.
Very, very good tag team over there in AEW. Darius is out. He was in a car accident, I believe. That's what is being said. Dante has continued to shine without Darius there. Hopefully Darius gets healthy and can come back, because those two are just phenomenal together. How about you, Joe? Favorite tag teams? I know we covered the Road Warriors. Who else you got in the favorite
I love
tag
the Rockers.
teams?
I was shattered, like the window when Marty Jannetty got super kicked by Shawn Michaels. That's part of the reason I hated Shawn Michaels at the beginning, because he ended one of my favorite tag teams with that one shot.
How did it end them?
He Shawn Michaels super kicked Marty Jannetty during a talk show interview thing on Brutus Barber Beefcake's little interview segment.
Brian's favorite wrestler.
Did it hurt him very bad?
It ended his career, basically. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah, essentially. Though it didn't. Yeah, not like that. It was made to set up like a feud and thing. I'll show you later, buddy. I'll show you that stuff. And then let's see. As far as like more modern day stuff, I mean, I quite like what the Shield did and what the Wyatts did. Like, I thought they were really good.
Yes, I did love the Wyatts. Yep. Obviously, you can tell why I love the Wyatts.
Right.
Now, I know Harley loves Braun, but I don't know, I wasn't too high on him. I loved Brody. I loved Eric. Those two could just go. As a tag team by themselves, they were amazing. And then when you add Bray to the mix, just, coming out with them, a whole nother mystique. For me, sorry, go ahead, Joe. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, as far as Bray goes, he honestly, like, he can wrestle, but he's got one of the better gimmick minds I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he almost should just be like the manager, because he was great with the point and go do stuff, like the being the sadistic leader stuff. Yeah. Anyways, go on.
Do my bidding, do my work.
Yeah.
Loved it. For me, I'm a huge Chris Jericho fan too. I don't believe in some of the stuff he says politically, but I'm just going off the character and the man I see on TV. I love Jerry Show because it was cocky Chris Jericho, and you got the Big Show out there just knocking people out. Dustin and Cody.
Yeah.
I know he hated the Stardust thing. I loved it because I thought it was just it was good. It was entertaining to me. A lot of people might have hated it. When they separated and had him with the Ascension, I thought that was going to be a whole new level to elevate those guys as well. And then it just fizzled out with Cody wanting to leave. But Cody is a tremendous wrestler. Goldust, I mean, he's 50-some plus years old here, still killing it. And we all know if Goldust or Cody talk to me, I will get super sweaty, super nervous, and just tell them I'm nervous 7 times. Now, I did better with Cody. I don't care what anybody says. I was able to get a few words out. With Dustin, I'm just really nervous. I told him that like 9 times, Harley. I got his book autographed, and he's like, "Did you like it?" I'm just really nervous. Did you want an autograph? I'm just really nervous. It was really bad. Bob basically had to speak for me because I couldn't get anything out. So,
and next time he's gonna be like, "Hey, it's a nervous guy."
Actually, I did meet him again with Max. And Max wasn't nervous. Max is just more like, okay, I'm here for my autograph and my picture. You know,
he's definitely not your son. No.
And I had to actually talk to him, and I brought up the story to tell him I was nervous. He's like, "Well, are you nervous?" And then I got nervous. So, I'm sure one day you'll meet your favorite person in the world, and you'll get clammy, kind of like Brian did with Alexa Bliss. I handled that one.
Hey,
no problem.
He does that every morning when I come up the stairs. All right.
Harley gets nervous.
Absolutely.
No,
that's because I come up the stairs and I gotta go.
Dad. Don't start that, Dad. Don't.
Well, that's what happens in your dreams, right, Kale?
That's right.
What does that mean?
That's gold.
We'll show you later. Other tag teams that I absolutely love. Back to the face paint when they wore it, the Usos. I like them still today. The Gangster Samoan thing's a little weird for me, but I do love their body of work. Usos are definitely up there with the New Day, I feel, in the tag team of this generation as being one of the best. Los Guerreros, because Chavo and Eddie, that's just magic right there. And Harlem Heat from the WCW days. I love those guys, especially the match they had with the Nasty Boys where they got somehow rolled into the hot dog cart. Like, I'll just never forget that match. And Nasty Boys, they were definitely a team of the 90s for sure.
They were a team in the 90s, yeah.
Yeah. I love the Nasty Boys. I love the
I never liked them. I liked the Bushwhackers back in the day. I love their gimmick though.
Yep.
We used to do that stuff with my dad. Like we would like wrestle, and we would do the head lick and the stuff like that. That was always fun. An honorable mention for my favorites, the Brothers of Destruction.
Yep, good choice.
That's
also I got Taker on my Tumblr there, Superior Creations,
and then the New Age Outlaws, man.
Oh, yep.
I always like them. Road Dogg's entrance is iconic. So,
I don't know if you remember when Billy was in the tag team with Billy and Chuck.
Smoking Guns?
No, that was Bart Gunn.
Oh, sorry, you're right.
If only I knew what you were talking about.
No. I remember that because I remember. I didn't see it when it was happening, but I remember you referencing it, and then they call out.
But I love Billy Gunn more than Chuck ever did. Yep. And then he hugged me.
Yep, that was a good one.
So good Billy Gunn. I mean, him, Ryback, and probably Bob Holly have had the strongest handshakes that I can recall. Like, I just remember Ryback squeezing my hand. And I was like, "Whoa, buddy!" And he's like, "Oh, I forgot that I have to, shake normal sometimes." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, thanks, buddy." Now, I won't get into Ryback too much because it's kind of gone on a tear lately. So, all righty. Any other tag teams you can think of, Harley, that you like?
Not really.
How about for you, Joe?
I mean, there's a lot of them, but those are kind of the big ones. I absolutely love the New Day too.
I do too. I didn't like them in the beginning, but I fell in love with them. So
my introduction to them was when they inducted the Freebirds into the
Hall of Fame?
Hall of Fame, and the speech that they gave, I was like, who are these guys? And that's when I found out that with the New Day was like the fact that they can be so funny and yet still be so good with all the stuff they do. Like,
Yep.
who plays a trombone at the end of the
Yep.
ring, edge of the ring, and still gets over?
Yep.
You know what
Who
I mean?
throws
And they have the
pancakes
unicorn
into the crowd
stomp
and
and all
gets
that
over?
stuff.
Yep.
The pancake, yeah, all that stuff. It's
Unicorns, bootios.
Yeah.
Harley, that's the shirt you should have busted out today.
I liked Big E's dance. I think
Yep.
that was my favorite part about him.
And I like a lot of the things that Xavier Woods does outside of the WWE too.
With the G4? The
I
video
was
game
thinking
stuff?
just like Up, Up, Down, Down and other videos and stuff that he's done.
Yeah, I like the finance.
High five.
I like the finance Freddy videos he does.
Yep. Alrighty, moving on to the next one. Favorite entrance music. Harley, I don't know if you're too big into the entrance musics, but do you have any favorites?
I like the luchas.
Okay, luchas. I mean, it gets you going. It gets the kids going, and this is why I like what we're doing here today. Is obviously Harley is a younger viewer. I plan to hopefully have other friends on with their kids, because it gives another perspective to it. You know, this is something that Joe can share with his son. I share it with my nephew, and hopefully Max will agree to come on someday and kind of share his stories, because that's what it's about. Friends of the Squared Circle. You know, this is something that you do with your dad. You watch with your dad. I know when I'm usually over, the first thing you ask me is, hey, you want to play WWE? And I love playing with you because you are a legit contender.
I remember.
And I think we
one
just
time-
love that we upset you when we win. And for you people watching at home, Harley has won, but just know we don't take it easy on him, especially when I went from 1 to 30 and I made him cry that night.
I remember one time we were doing a Royal Rumble match. Dad was one of the big guys.
Yeah.
And he was next to the ropes, down. We saw him getting up. I think we were fighting somebody else or fighting each other. But he got caught by the ropes. His chest was getting caught by the ropes, getting up, sliding out of the ring. Then when he's finally back off, he's landed out of the ring.
I remember
You know
another one that was really great was we had just started. I believe Harley came in number 2. Joe was number 1. And Joe runs at Harley, and Joe's out within 10 seconds. We're all like, what just happened?
Whatever.
Those are
You
some
know what?
fond memories that I have over there. So.
You guys always take team up on me because you know I'm the real threat. So
No, it's just
whatever.
getting rid of you, and then
threat.
trickling
I
you
know
down.
it's
I got him out quickly because I'm very good at the reversals.
Yes, you are. You are definitely a button masher. You would have been great in the Sega Street Fighter / Mortal Kombat days. So, all right. How about for you, Joe? Favorite entrance music?
Well, I would say I'm partial to Hulk Hogan's "I Am a Real American." I have
Goosebumps, chills right now.
acted out that entrance music several times at work when I was back in the store days. When the store was empty, I would crank it up on the speakers and do the whole dance and the flexing and all that. Stone Cold.
And sing it because I'll get taken down off YouTube. So.
Yeah, no. I would do the glass break always, and there's that pounding sound of Stone Cold's entrance is great. DX, their entrance music's great. And then Triple H's "Time to Play the Game."
Yep.
That's
that's
great also. I mean, there's been a lot of great stuff out there.
Can't forget the iconic, Taker there.
Yeah, Takers.
I got both of them on this tumbler mug, Superior Creations. Just get my plugs in for my sponsor.
90 minutes of entrance music for Taker to make it to the ring.
And another 30 minutes wrestling. Yep. So you get the whole experience. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice. Is it gives them time to warm up on the way to the ring,
Yep.
So, anyways.
You named a few that I like.
HBK.
What's that?
HBK.
Yep. That's a great one to sing too. What Jericho's doing with his Judas over there in AEW gets the crowds interacting. Kurt Angle, you suck. That's always a fun one.
Yeah.
You mentioned a lot that I had wrote down, but a few that I like now is Shinsuke. I actually have that on my playlist just because I don't know, it's just amazing, the strings. Mm-hmm. And then Asuka's is a very good one. It's right up there with Shinsuke's. Bret Hart's was always, pretty iconic for me, even though I was an Owen fan. And then Edge and the Brood, like that one just.
Oh yeah, it's good.
That one hits like that. Oh, Samoa Joe, that's another one that just gets you. Like that's a fight song.
That was my ringtone forever.
Mm-hmm.
Was that one? That Godzilla. That's the Godzilla song altered. Is what that is.
Definitely a great song.
I'll tell you what though, Edge has had his first 3 entrance musics that I know of were all bangers.
Yes.
The Brood one, his first solo one, and then his second one. His second his first one was so good they had to take the initial "You Think You Know Me" part and put it on the front of that other song for him, just because that was just his iconic his music's going on stuff.
Oh,
Harley, what happened?
We'll see what's going on there once he pops back in here. We'll keep an eye on that. All right. So while we figure out what Harley's doing there, oh, he's back.
Just
All right, Harley. Welcome back, buddy.
I was just gonna.
All right. You sneezed?
He was getting a drink. He was getting his water bottle.
Okay.
Gail,
whatever.
How does me getting a drink sound like I sneezed?
Because I just assume things. All right. Moving on here. Favorite finishers, Harley. Now, again, do you have any favorite finishers that you can recall?
I like who is he again? Brock Lesnar's
the F5?
Yeah, where he like gets a guy down, gets his leg on, gets their leg on his shoulders, lifts him up, and slams him.
A lot of people hate Brock Lesnar, but I absolutely love him. Little fun fact for everybody at home. Rumor has it, let's timestamp this at 27 minutes and 35 seconds, that Bob Briggs invented the F5. I have not seen the video of his wrestling days, but according to Bob Briggs, he invented the F5. So
I was doing it before
Brock. I want to see the video. So
yeah.
Any other finishers, Harley?
I
know you love Big E. Did you love his finish?
I don't really remember it.
The splash?
The one where he put them over the shoulder?
Oh, that one. I was thinking the splash, his finisher with the New Day.
Oh, okay. Well, Harley's thinking. How about you, Joe? What do you got for me?
Well, the stunner is iconic and can be broken out at any time.
Every time we mention these guys, I'm just gonna show the beautiful tumbler I had made for
the other side creation. Tombstone is fantastic.
Yep. There we go. Get Superior.
There you go.
Not used to the cameras yet here, people. Sorry.
You're gonna have to give me one of those for being on the show twice, right? That's two shows.
What we can do, we can either get you one with the logo on it, or you can send me your favorite wrestler, and I will hook you up, Joe.
All right.
Harley, you got to earn yours. So.
Let's see. Finishers. I mean, The Rock has such a pageantry around the people's elbow and the rock bottom.
All right, full stop. Do you remember when he did that rock bottom where he slid across the ring and just stopped, popped? Oh my gosh, that was definitely one of my favorite moments with him.
You're thinking people's elbow.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying, like, do you remember that match? Like, when you said Rock, it brought me to that.
Across the screen in those loafers of his.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that was not planned. So
that was great.
That was definitely an iconic moment in wrestling.
Absolutely. God, what other finishers are really good?
I like John Cena's "You Can't See Me."
Yeah, that's kind of like the rip off of the Rock. I like Cena. I don't like the character. I feel like he does a lot of good for wrestling. I just never got into it because it was not geared towards me. That's the only reason I hate on Cena, is because it wasn't geared towards me. So that's why I didn't like it. But otherwise, I think he does a great job of what he does. He's a great actor. I think he's hilarious in a lot of the movies that he does.
Yeah, I like the Bumblebee movie.
Yep, Bumblebee, and then he's in the Fast and the Furious movies. What is it? Blockers with his daughter. The firefighter movie. I enjoyed that movie. I thought it was great. So
I like the movies that The Rock was in more.
I think everybody does, buddy. There's a reason he's the bigger star still. Cena's. I mean, he's done quite a bit.
I mean, look at Batista.
He was great in Trainwreck.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Batista's, he's done a good job. I mean, getting in the Guardians of the Galaxy really set him up for the rest of his life, really. So.
Yep, and I love Guardians of the Galaxy. It's definitely one of my top MCU movies, as well as one of my favorite movies that are out there. So,
another finisher I like is the Diamond KO. I mean RKO. I mean Diamond Cutter.
Basically, the cutter. Yep.
That's a great move. I love though. I will say this. While it is originally Diamond Dallas's Page's move, Randy Orton's really owned it. That out of nowhere thing. I mean, it's a meme. Yep. It's a great meme.
It is.
I don't know. That's awesome.
The one that he did on Seth Rollins at WrestleMania is one of my favorites, where Rollins goes for the curb stomp, and Orton just pops up. According to Rollins in the behind the scenes thing, he was talking that they couldn't hit it in practice or warm-ups through the whole day, and then during the live match, they called the spot and went for it, and it's phenomenal. Yep. Another great one is against Evan Bourne, where he does the
snare. Yeah.
Yep.
That was
I do feel he does an amazing job at his RKOs, but he really sucks at putting people through tables. Because every time he goes to throw him in the announce table, that table never breaks. And every time I see a Randy Orton match and he does that, I feel like it never breaks.
Maybe he's showing sympathy.
There you go. Yeah.
This dude keep breaking the line, WWE.
I heard maybe it's one of the nicer voices in his head. That's why he can't break the table. It comes out the wrong time.
Back to the music. That's a banger entrance right there.
I was waiting for you to do it. I left it for you.
Yeah.
I remember having to download that and make it a ringtone for you.
Yeah. That was back when I was more into the, my soul is depressing days. For me, favorite finishers, I did write RKO. I love Kevin Owens. Brian, who was on episode 1, absolutely thinks he's trash, but to me, I think Kevin Owens is great.
Pop-up
Powerbomb. What's that?
Pop-up Powerbomb?
Yeah, I mean, he's doing the stunner now, but I honestly, I like the pop-up Powerbomb more. When he debuted on Raw against Cena, I think it was. I hope it's Raw or to the main roster. When he came out and challenged Cena, that was great. And then for him to beat Cena his first match was also great.
7-year anniversary of that was just the other day, by the way.
Mm-hmm. And one that might shock you is, again, I mentioned it earlier in the face paint part. Samoa Spike. I don't know why I like that. I just think it's cool. I was a huge fan of Umaga. I just thought to myself, once I get some room cleared for my collectibles, I'd probably start collecting stuff of Umaga because gone too soon. I thought his body of work was really good. I didn't really get to watch him in his heyday. It was more after he had passed that I started watching his stuff. Also a huge fan of the Vader bomb. I loved Vader. Otis is kind of doing that now. I do love when Yokozuna used to do his because that was just devastating to see a man that size jump on someone's chest.
Think face.
Yeah, Rikishi. I mean, the Samoans are just great. I love the, Usos. Yeah. Rock is not really in my category of my favorites because I always like to root for people that people normally didn't.
You're a wrestling hipster, I know.
What's that?
You're a wrestling hipster.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I always like the guys that people didn't like because I didn't want to go with the norm. I mean, there's nothing to say that Rock isn't great, but I just like other people more.
Definition of the hipster.
Yeah. And as Rock was coming in, I was more into WCW. So that's probably why I like all those, luchadors that a lot of people don't talk about. Besides the Jerichos, the Malenkos, and those guys. Alrighty.
Wait, I gotta go now back to that submission or to the finishers thing. So as far as finishers go, I just want to ask you a question, Kale. I want your rating on this. Submission finishers, right? What's your ranking? We'll say Walls of Jericho, Figure 4, Sharpshooter. Your top those three, how would you rate them as far as which one do you think is the best?
So I got Figure 4, Jericho's, and Hearts.
Yeah.
I would probably put Jericho 3, Flair 2, just because I feel like that one, you see it reversed all the time. And I will put Brett number 1. I mean, he made Stone Cold pass out. So granted, he was losing a lot of blood, but I feel like, I feel like that's a pretty solid order. That's a good question.
So, let me ask you a question now. As far as Jericho's submission finishers, Walls of Jericho or Lion Tamer, which one do you like better?
I'm gonna go Walls of Jericho.
Lion Tamer for me, friend. You know what? Because Walls of Jericho, all that is a Boston Crab.
Okay.
Lion Tamer, you got them standing up. You got the head. You're like that whole. It's like a standing Boston Crab, but it looks like it's a lot more torque. It's a lot cooler looking.
Right
now he's doing more of the swinging punch thing, which is kind of different for him. So
yeah.
And we're losing Harley again.
Harley, where are you going?
Need a charger.
Oh boy! All right, that's fine. We can stare at the empty chair. We'll start with you, Joe. Here. Hey, it's episode 2. Things are gonna happen, folks. I'm just getting started with this. My nerves are getting better each time with this. But to the chair. No, I'm just kidding here. Joe, wrestlers that make your blood boil. Who gets you upset?
Like really ticks me off, huh?
You can take this now any way you want. You can take it in real life or just in general in the wrestling world where you're supposed to hate them.
Again, well, so here's the thing. I used to really hate HBK back in the day. Just all the stuff he used to do just really used to tick me off when I was a kid. Really got me going. Honky Tonk Man. Don't know why. Don't know what it is about him. Maybe he's just really good at being the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really ticked me off way back then. And then I'll leave all their political stuff and all the stuff that they say nowadays out of this because that is what it is. But I guess that's where I'm going to leave it as those. I can't think of anybody else really that. Yeah, that's where we're going to leave it. That's where I got. Harley, what are you doing?
My cable's not long enough.
All right. Are you all set there, or you want me to kick you back out of there?
No, you're good.
All right.
What's the category?
Wrestlers who make your blood boil. And if you don't say the one that I think you're going to say, I'm going to call you out here because I remember you freaking out every morning about this character. So this can be in real life now, Harley, or just in the wrestling world where we're supposed to hate them.
Paul Ellering.
There's 2 people I don't really like. I think who's that dude? I don't remember his name, but I remember what he wore. He didn't wear a shirt, but he was a redhead with a beard.
He's not talking about me, folks. He's talking about Sami Zayn. I don't know how many times I would come upstairs for staying at Joe's house where he would be so pissed off because I feel like this is the only wrestler you couldn't beat in WWE 2K was Sami Zayn. And I hope we get the chance one day so Harley can meet Sami Zayn. And I hope I'm there so I can tell him, you made this kid cry because of your video game character.
I feel like that's a pretty generic answer if you're asking me.
That's great. Yep. I
The
mean,
other
Sami
guy,
Zayn, what he's doing now is great. What he's done in the past is great. I don't like to really throw around this guy isn't getting used correctly or this guy doesn't get a push. I feel like Sammy is right where he needs to be right now, but he does. I feel like one day, the big gold, he deserves it for sure. So
the other guy, he's not really in the WWE. He's like in a more lesser wrestling category. Don't remember his name either, but he only wore like pants with boots that are black and red, and his hair is going like this. And I don't like him because one day we were at this wrestling event, and he just came out. Kale's son, Kale's nephew, not son, Max.
Neff's son.
Had his poster. The dude grabbed the poster and freaking ripped it. I stood up and I just pushed him.
Riley Jackson, ladies and gentlemen.
What?
Yeah, Riley Jackson no longer has hair, so he kind of looks like your dad. I'm not sure what's going on there, but yes, Riley Jackson did upset Harley to where he got out of his seat and tried to attack a professional wrestler.
Yep.
So, and I remember the next day I had a show up in Upper Minnesota there, and I walked up all tough like, and I was like, "Hey, enjoy ripping up kids' signs, huh?" And he was all taken aback, and he happened to be working Bruce Pritchard's table that day, and Bruce Pritchard was like, just kind of stepped back. I'm like, "I'm just messing with you, buddy. That is a great memory for my nephew and my Zeus son." And I bring it up to him every time I see him, and he just laughs. Again, this is another one that I cannot wait for Harley to bump into him again, because we need to get that picture autographed and then get a size comparison, because I honestly feel like Harley is taller than Riley Jackson now. So
I might be, but I might be like an inch shorter, maybe.
I mean, you're taller than me, so all right.
But then again, at that time, it was like to his neck.
I mean, you are the big show of midget wrestling, though, KL. So
I mean, that's a career path I should look into. I would make a ton of money. So, how about for you, Joe? Any other wrestlers that you can think of?
That I hated, that really got me going. This is so stupid. The Mountie. He used to give Rowdy Piper a lot of
Didn't see that one coming.
I remember that. That used to tick me off. And then Jake the Snake. As much as I loved, I had the Snake and everything like that, he really ticked me off. And Flair. Flair would be the last one. I hated Flair when he was in the WWE, which is when I knew him. I didn't really know him from the rest of it. I obviously I love what he does now and everything, but he really could get me ticked off back in the day too. But Jake the Snake, I love doing the Macho Man. Gonna go down there and beat up Jake the Snake. I do the whole speech. Maybe I'm insane. All that stuff is pretty good.
Alrighty. And for me, mine's kind of funny too, because I mentioned it the last time, was Ted DiBiase was one that really got me going as a kid. Because I remember him stealing Dusty Rhodes' Valet in the SummerSlam VHS that I had. Harley, do you know what a VHS is?
A VHS, yeah.
He's got a VHS player in his room.
All right, he's up to date on the terms here. Yeah, he really got my blood boiling as a kid. I'm a huge Randy Orton fan, but when he cashed in on Daniel Bryan, that is a more recent one that I can think of that just irritated me, because Daniel Bryan was starting to get his big push, and then it was killed right after beating John Cena there at SummerSlam. Another one off screen that kind of just drives me nuts is CM Punk. We're not going to get into that too much because it's just more for personal reasons. I just don't like him. Alrighty. Any others that you can think of, or we can move on here?
No?
I
can't think of anyone.
Alrighty. And I know Brian is not here with us today, and he would say Brutus the Barber Beefcake. and Greg Valentine. Now, I love both those
Valentine.
guys because they are just vintage 80s wrestling. And I absolutely love Greg the Hammer Valentine. I always liked his body of work back in the day. I've met him a few times. Super great guy. Very dry sense of humor. The second time I met him, and he will surprise you with his quick wit. So, all right, moving on. We're going to get into Harley. I want you to kind of explain some of your first wrestling memories. Now, I know your dad's taken you to a few shows, and you've come to a few with us. What are some of your first memories of professional wrestling that you can think of?
Well, the thing that mostly got me into wrestling, because I thought it'd be like a lot more funny, and it was definitely the New Day, because like that got me into wrestling because I thought I could see more of them.
Okay.
Because like I wanted to see them like joke around more. And then I think it was a couple of days before we went to a wrestling event with Airwolf. I think that's the only time I remember first seeing Airwolf.
Okay. Yep.
And I liked them, and I actually brought a mask.
Don't spoil
Right,
that.
right.
Don't spoil that segment just yet, buddy. We'll get there.
And then I think the next one after that would be one of
We went that big trip to Oshkosh. That was like 4 hours in the car where you all got to sleep, and I was made to stay awake even though I was not driving.
No, it's where like I made an Airwolf poster.
Oh, okay. Yep, I remember that one.
Yeah, I think the thing that I didn't really like at that trip was the escalators, because at that time I couldn't really handle escalators.
Brings up escalators. That's great.
Escalating situation.
Now, Joe, I know you said yours on episode 1, so if you just want to give a quick recap of what you remember from wrestling, the first few times or moments.
Watching it with my dad when I was a kid. Watching the Roddy Piper with the shockproof vest on. I remember that. Jake Snake, sicking his snake on people back in the day.
Mhm.
Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Ultimate Warrior. I loved that back in the day. Again, I remember in my neighborhood, one of the people in the neighborhood knew Ric Flair, so I met Ric Flair when I was really young. So I remember wrestling with my brothers all the time, my dad, and then when we moved up to this area, I didn't say this in the last show, but one of the things we used to do a lot with wrestling is we had a barn with stalls, and we had one that one year we just put a bunch of leaves in it because we were going to use that instead of hay or whatever for the horse that we had, and we turned that into a wrestling ring, and
there you go.
We were body slamming each other and stuff like that, and I was much bigger than my younger brother and my buddy that was over, so it was always me slamming them all the time and them trying to take me on and just never really standing a chance. So, but it was nice having something like that to just slam people in. That was pretty cool.
So, for me, again, back to the first episode, you can kind of catch it there. Kind of like you, Harley. I kind of found it through video games as a kid. Neighbor boy invited me to come over and play Sega, and that's where I kind of, saw some of the characters. He had a bunch of action figures. After that, that's when I started to get my own action figures. And then I found out that my family liked it, which was news to me. So I would watch it at my grandparents' house. Grandma hated it. Grandpa let me go in their bedroom and watch it. So I would flip between WCW and WWE back in the day during the Attitude Era. I don't know if I mentioned it on the first episode. I did a lot of trampoline wrestling with my buddy Adam Green. That was always a fun time. We would go to the dollar store and buy the cheap cookie sheets and hit each other over the head. I remember specifically he did a backflip out of a tree and landed on me. We were big time. So those are some of my first wrestling memories, as well as my first pay-per-view was watching Starrcade 97 with Hulk and Sting. And I remember just having the action figures and playing it out in the living room. So those are some of my first wrestling memories that I hold dear. But mostly it was probably just, the action figures, because that's what really got me into it, because every teenage boy or, teen boy, tween boy, whatever you call it, had action figures. I know, Harley, you got action figures of some of your favorite wrestlers and stuff. So, alrighty. Any other memories you can think of, Joe or Harley?
No, man. I mean,
Actually, I sort of remember it. I think it was the day that that the first memory of like me first seeing Airwolf actually wrestle. I think it was when we were coming, that was something else. That was when I met Mark Henry one time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was the Oshkosh show where we drove
Yeah.
4 hours to go to that one.
the strongest man.
I barely remember because I was young. Like, I think it was 7 or something. We were home. We went to sleep. The next day, me, mom, and dad were just driving. I noticed this news truck. I was wondering, why is that there? So I asked them. My dad told me the night we got back, like 2 houses over, the second house.
Hey, this is a good story. Let's talk about something else. I know this is going to. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that.
Oh, okay, yeah. For everybody wondering at home, it was a very tragic day in their neighborhood. So we will not get into that and not cover that, because that's just not a happy story here. So moving on, we're just going to segue into Harley. Now, what are some things that you love about professional wrestling? And then would you ever consider getting into the wrestling business? And then Joe will ask you this quick, and then we'll move on to my favorite segment, Show Me the Collectibles, and then we can wrap this bad boy up here today.
I think I would probably get into the wrestling business.
Okay.
It would be fun to like fight people and just do cool moves.
So you'd want to be a wrestler is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my favorite part about wrestling is definitely their like finishers and signatures.
Okay.
Because I remember watching something about Braun Strowman highlights. He went up against the Big Show. He got Big Show to the top rope. He put his head under his arm, into his armpit, brought him back, slammed him onto the ring. It just collapsed.
If you love that moment so much, me and your dad could reenact that on your bed and have the same results.
Well, me and Harley broke his bed. We used to wrestle all the time. He would come in. He would just have me slam him all the time. That's all he wanted me to do, is just slam him, to the point where my back hurt and I was tired. I'm like, no, I don't want to. So then I would just lay down, and then he would just jump on my back, and he would give me the old Yokozuna slam all the time, which when he's like 5 pounds and he's doing that, it feels pretty good, actually. Really working out that chiropractic stuff. But yeah, that was a good time. We definitely broke his bed. Because I used to give him the old Jack the Ripper and all sorts of dirty tricks my dad taught me when I was a kid. So good stuff.
Yeah. And one day we got WWE 2K Battlegrounds, and I think we were up against Adam and Razor, those two brothers, and we were at
Authors of Pain.
And the map, we were it's like a haunted house. I think it was either me or Dad. We took one of them. We like slammed them super hard into the ring. It just collapsed. Everything like fell over, and we could pick up the poles. And I thought that was very cool. So I tried it another day, but it didn't work.
Now, do you have a wrestling name that you have picked out for that, or are you still working on that?
I think it's going to be LG.
LG, all right. What does the G stand for?
Good.
Good, okay. Give me whatever you want it to be. If I ever got into professional wrestling, it would be more as the manager role, or I would love to be a ring announcer. I feel like that would be my calling, is just talking. How about you, Joe? Would you get into the wrestling business back in your heyday?
Oh, probably. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I've got the. I mean, I could take pain. I don't know if I got the tolerance of pain to let somebody hit me in the head with a chair, or to get the tax or something like that. Like willingly fall on that sort of stuff. I don't know if I could do that.
There's no way I physically could be a wrestler then or now. I know my talents outside of the ring where I could just be someone as a mouthpiece, or just introducing people coming down for that.
So like a manager or announcer?
Yeah. Yep. Doing the little shenanigans at ringside. Alrighty here. Now we're gonna get into my favorite segment, so we can wrap this bad boy up and keep it under about an hour and a half here. I know we're going a little long, but that's fine. As I like to call this segment, Show Me the Collectibles. Now, Harley, we're going to wait on yours because I feel like it is beautiful and deserves to go second. Joe, last time you caught a little flack from Brian because you were showing other things other than wrestling. So to redeem yourself, let's see them collectibles. Show me the collectibles, Joe.
I preface this with this. We were told any collectibles. It did not have to be wrestling.
I totally agree.
Whatever.
I'm the one that wrote the segment, so it doesn't have to be wrestling. Oh, what do we have here? Looks like a Sacco.
Yes, I got Sacco from when we met Mick Foley.
Yep.
It has been used. Ask Harley about it. I put it in Harley's mouth.
Okay.
So there's this guy, and then the other thing I have is technically Harley's, but I was there too, so I'm going to show it also. Signed by Mark Henry.
That's beautiful.
World title belt. So that'd be the two things that I brought with us today. So a couple things from wrestling shows and things that we've done.
Yeah.
So I have some other cool stuff. Maybe if you have me back, I'll spend some time to try to find it.
Well, Joe, I feel like it's always open. The door's always open. We probably won't do you 3 in a row, so people don't think I don't have any other friends. Because the show is named Friends of the Squared Circle, and I need to get other guests on.
We can just name it called Friend of the Squared Circle.
Yeah, pretty much. We're going to drop the it. We're going to drop the it. All right, Harley. It is your time to shine here. Show us what you got.
Well, the thing that I like most, I think the one thing that I mostly have for a wrestling collectible is definitely my Airwolf mask. I like
now,
it.
For people that, one second right here, Harley. For people that don't know, Airwolf is what Darius Martin of AEW used to do on the independent circuit. He's since dropped the mask since being on AEW. This is a great piece of wrestling merch here. Go ahead, Harley. Sorry.
I mostly like it because on the side, it's actually signed by Airwolf.
Okay.
So I found it one day when I was like snooping around in my room. I found this like blue bucket. I was like, wonder what's in here. And then I just pulled out this mask. Then I just asked Dad what it was for, and he told me it was Airwolf's mask and said that I was a fan. And so
I'm pretty sure that thing still doesn't fit.
First off, it fits me.
Okay. Well, I mean,
get it on.
Harley's got some beautiful hair where you need to back up because the sun is reflecting into my eyes. But he's gonna try to put it on here. All right.
I got that for Harley from we were at a show in look at that. From
Look
St.
at that.
Paul. Was it St. Paul? It was at that. It was one of the first wrestling shows.
First wrestling at the
VFW. That stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
I got that. Had him sign it. Harley's worn it a few times since then.
Yeah, I wore this to the night of the sign incident.
Yep. That is a great piece of wrestling merch right there. Again, Darius Martin, a.k.a. Airwolf, doing big things over there in AEW. Again, recent injuries have got another setback for him, but definitely lives up to their name in his tag team of Top Flight there.
Yeah, I think either Dad or Kale has a picture of it.
With your sign?
No, when I was like attacking the dude.
I believe your dad has it. I have it. I believe I shared it on social media and have tagged Riley Jackson in it. Again, we need to get Harley to meet Top Flight again, now that they're a little bit older, as well as Harley a little bit older. And we have to get him to meet Riley Jackson again, because these are some of Minnesota's, top wrestlers. Excuse me, Riley Jackson is from Wisconsin, but out of the Midwest area here. Well, guys, I appreciate you being on. Again, I want to try to keep this as close to an hour or just a little over. Thank you for being a friend of the Squared Circle. Thank you for coming on, supporting my dreams, and trying to take this thing to another level. I'm much appreciated. Harley, any closing things you want to say or add?
If I ever see Riley Jackson and I'm able to wrestle him, I would take it.
Okay, I'm going to edit this video and cut that out and send it to him, so you can officially challenge Riley Jackson to a match next time you see him.
Oh, Harley,
Joe, any
better hit the weight
closing?
room,
What's that?
Harley better hit the weight room.
I think he could take him. I mean, I love Riley Jackson, but I feel like Harley could definitely take him, or he might shave Harley's head and steal his hair.
You just pull that hair.
I would freaking choke him for that.
All right. Before we get any, too crazy on here, again, thank you, Harley, for coming on. Joe, anything else you want
to? No, I mean, I will mention that Kevin Owens is a much better wrestler than anybody else that Brian likes. Just for when he watches this video, because we didn't mention the fact that he really hates Kevin Owens, and thus we bought him a Kevin Owens figure and stuck it in his
autograph. We got him a Kevin Owens autograph. So
and Kevin
Owens is legit.
Yep. So, anyways,
what's the name
good stuff
for this?
What was that?
What's that?
What's the name for the YouTube channel for this?
I don't really have that plugged in, because what's going to happen here, Harley, is right now I'm just going to have a few videos going under my umbrella, but then eventually we're going to move it onto a bigger podcasting branch where it'll be me, as well as me and my buddy doing one, and then him and another friend doing it. So we're going to kind of have a podcast umbrella. So right now I'm just putting them out there individually just so I can get practice and all that. So more details to come soon with that, with me and Chad. And then eventually Chad and his other podcast partner will all be under the different umbrella than what I'm using. So that way you can find us all at one-stop shop. All right, guys. Thanks for coming on. Joe, thank you for making it very creepy at the end. And again, thank you for being a friend of the Squared Circle. Have a good night, guys. Thank you. I cut them out last minute. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Again, right now, just find us on Facebook at Friends of the Squared Circle. We'll be there. Again, more details coming of where to find me on other social media avenues. Go ahead and give Darren Corbin a like and a follow. Check out that Patreon. It starts only at $1. Monthly Q&As, dining with Darren, behind the scenes, all kinds of fun stuff on his Patreon. Again, that's at patreon.com/Darren Corbin. And as well, check out Superior Creations on Facebook at facebook.com/Superior Creations MN, and get all your beautiful tumbler needs. Now, I have Austin on this side, as well as Taker on the other side, and more coming. Eventually, these will be part of my giveaways for you awesome fans at Friends of the Squared Circle. And last but not least, I cannot thank 13 Cards, Subject to Change. Check them out on Facebook. These guys are instrumental in what I'm doing, giving me pointers, tips to continue to grow this. It's for me to have fun and keep wrestling positive in a drama-free platform. And thanks for listening. Thanks for being a friend of the Squared Circle. And as always, Crander Q out.